Hello everyone, welcome back to Python tutorials by Code Warriors. Today we are going to start the basics of a Python programming language. I'm telling you, this no programming language is more interesting than Python right now, and no programming language has more scope in the technology world, any stream than Python. I mean, if you talk about right now great stream, the most what you say productive stream right now, the stream that has more growth in technology world is MLOps, or you can say machine learning and data science side. And there are only few languages that work on data science, like SAS language, R, Python, and then there are few like MATLAB or Octave. And in all of these, Python has the most extensive libraries, much more to do with the Python, and much in a much easy way. It's the most successful language in that field, and every company is demanding right now Python, right? So it's a great time to learn Python. Learn it by heart, give your whole on it, and you will get a course completion certificate from our side. Okay, so let's get on with it. Today's our topic is data types in Python. So data type, what are data types? First of all, data types are the building blocks of any programming languages. You talk about any programming language, there will be a data type and it will be a building block. If there is no data type, then it's very difficult to manage the data. Now, what is data type in particular? There are two terms we see there, data and type. Now, data, if we talk about data, what is data? Data is just any number or any value, any character or any word, anything is data. And if we define its type, like what kind of data that is, that becomes a data type. Now in the same way in our programming language, if we use any number, or if we use any decimal number, if we use any word, anything we use, or a kind of a list of something, then these are all, then to define these numbers or decimals, we use a data type like integers, floating point numbers. We will see in the further video. In this same video we'll see what are all those important data types. There are 8 important data types we are going to study in this course. And as you know, Python is I have explained in my previous video, Python is dynamically typed. Dynamically typed means like you can change its data type at any moment. Like if we talk about other languages like Java, C, C++, they are all statically typed. Means if we defined a data type to one variable, like if you've said this variable is integer, then now you can't change this. Now you can't put a value of floating number in that, in that variable. So but Python is so versatile, it's so flexible, it is dynamically typed. You can change data type at any moment you want. So let's see what are these 8 important data types that we are going to study. These are integers, floating point numbers, strings, lists, dictionaries, tuples, sets, booleans. Now, what are the integers? Integers, just if you have studied math, you know what are integers. They are just normal numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 200, 300, 400. Any number is an integer. Then there comes a floating point number. Now, these floating points are numbers like which has a decimal point in it. 2.3, 4.6. Even as you see, there's written 100.0. Now, if you have used decimal, we know 100.0 is 100. But if we have used a decimal dot in there, then that becomes a floating point number, and its type becomes float. In integer, its type becomes int. Okay, so now let's talk about strings. What are strings? Their data type, as you can see here, written type str. We define strings with a word str, and they are ordered sequence of characters. Now what do you mean by this line is, if you see a word hello in there, now hello comprises of like 5 characters, this h, this e, this l, they are all separate characters in there. Now if you comprise all of these characters and put them inside a double inverted comma or a single inverted commas, then it becomes a string. Now in the strings you can use numbers also, like 2000 I have written over here, to the awesome Japanese characters. Now you have to remember one thing. if you are using 2000 inside a string, inside double, putting it inside double inverted comma, then now it is not a number. Now you can't use it like a number. If you want to add 2000 plus 20 and 2000 is a string, then it will not add. It will give you an error because 2000 is a string and 20 is a number. So it will not make it 2020. It will just show you an error. So you have to remember, if you are putting anything, either the letters or the numbers or some symbols inside double inverted commas, single inverted commas, then it becomes a string. So now let's get into the next data type, list. Now list, its data type is list only, as you can see, and list are the ordered sequence of objects like 10, hello, 200.3. Now if you see here, 10 is an integer, hello is a string, 200.3 is a floating point number, as you can see over here. Now when you comprise all of these things in a one set, in a one sequence of objects, then it becomes a list. Now if you see, you make a list in your home for your like for anything, you create a list. It comprises of all kinds of stuffs. There will be a number, there will be names, there will be different things. It all comes under the list. List comprises everything. But we have to notice, see one thing. If you are making a list, then you have to use this big braces over here, and we are putting number. You don't have to use these double inverted commas, but if you are using a string, you have to put double inverted commas, and they are all separated by commas. So let's get on to the next of our data type, dictionaries. Now dictionaries, this data type is, its data type is DICT, dict, short form of dictionary, and these are unordered key value pairs. Now what do you mean by key value pairs? Now key value pairs means it's like there is some kind of a key and there is its value. Like if you see here, it is given name, and what is the name? Frankie. Then another we will create age. Then what is the age? 20. Then another we can create any other kind of what is address or date of birth, anything we can create. It's like name and its value. What? It's like name and its value. Yeah, please. What is its value? So as it says, key and value pairs are in. Like if you see in dictionary, what you see, there's a word and there is its meaning written. The same way it is. There's this word, and what that word means is written over here in the value section. And these dictionaries are it's comprised inside curly braces. We have to remember this part, and they are separated by commas. Then there comes the tuples. Now tuples are another ordered sequence of objects like list, but there is one difference between list and tuples. In the list we can change these things, these numbers, these sequence, like we can change hello and we can put anything else over here. But in the tuples they are immutable, you can change them, like you can't just replace it. You can add things in it, but you can't replace it. That's the only difference, and that's why tuples are comprised inside small braces, parentheses. Then there comes the set. Their data type is set set, just like normal. These are unordered collection of unique objects A, B. You have studied in maths how to write sets, right? We put it inside curly braces, then they are under double inverted commas, A, comma B. The same way. There's nothing difference about it, but they are of the same type. Unordered collection of unique objects. It says unique objects means they are will be of same type. Everyone. Now then there's the booleans. Boolean, their data type is bool, and they are like logical data types. They only show either true or false. They have only two values inside it. If situation is true, then it will give true. If situation is false, it will give false. Now we will discuss all of these data types, important data types like string, list, dictionaries, tuple, sets. We will make a separate videos of every data, and we will work on them separately. We will understand them separately. I'm not going through right now with all of these in a detail, because right now talking in detail about them, you won't be able to understand what those are unless I do some kind of a practical over it. Because when I'll make every separate video on all those separate topics, I will explain them deeply. I will give practical. I will show you practicals on it. I will give you examples of each of their cases, how we can work on it, how we can manipulate those stuff, and then you can able to understand it much more clearly, and you will able to learn it much easily. Okay, so we end our video with here. See you in our next video.